All right, hello everyone. My name is Shramoy Mitra and I'm the director of Stamps Gallery. Stamps Gallery is part of the Penny W. Stamps School of Art and Design at the University of Michigan. It is my honor to welcome you all for the information session to celebrate the kickoff of Envision, the Michigan Artists Initiative. We are, as you all know, living through a time of great change and upheaval, one that is causing us to rapidly transform our daily routines, our ways of living and working. While we remain uncertain on how this health crisis will impact our society and the cultural sector, one thing is clear, that now, perhaps more than ever before, we must stay resolute in our resolve to care for one another and our commitment to building a robust and inclusive cultural landscape for future generations. It is my privilege to be here today to share, during this time of uncertainty, to acknowledge and build on the legacy of innovative artists in Michigan through a new award and exhibition program. At a time when budgets of major funding agencies are in flux, and when the global pandemic has left artists and cultural workers more precarious, Envision, the Michigan Artist Initiative, is timely and important. The exhibition and award will showcase excellence and artistic merit of contemporary artists in Michigan and has been designed to launch the careers of emerging and mid-career artists and inspire higher levels of ambition among artists working in the state. So without further ado, I'd like us to get started. We'll do that by telling you a little bit about Stamps Gallery, our context, who we are and what we do, and then get right into Envision, the Michigan Artist Initiative, and how we can work on this together and build it out together. But first, a few points of housekeeping. So as we go along with the presentation, we will be accepting questions on an ongoing basis, and I would like to share the Q&A feature of the Blue Jeans browser. It's probably on the right side of your screen. So please feel free to type your questions in there, and we will be responding to all your questions as we go along as much as possible, and also towards the end of the presentation. There's also a feature to like a question. So if it's a question that another participant has asked that you also have, feel free to like the question, and in that way, if we have a whole number of questions, we can maybe try and prioritize as well. All right, so now getting to a little bit about Stamps Gallery and then Envision. Stamps Gallery is a dynamic center for contemporary art and design located in downtown Ann Arbor. The gallery is part of the Penny W. Stamps School of Art and Design at the University of Michigan, which opened in 2017. Building on the school's strong tradition of excellence, thought leadership, and community engagement, Stamps Gallery is a hub for contemporary artists and designers to explore ideas and projects that catalyze positive social change. Our goals are to develop innovative and scholarly exhibitions, publications, and public programs, foster vibrant and inclusive platforms for presentation, discussion, and inquiry into the urgent questions and concerns of our time. As a non-collecting institution, Stamps Gallery is committed to deepening the understanding of contemporary art and artists whose works inspire action and conversation. So what is Envision, the Michigan Artists Initiative? At Stamps Gallery, our approach is based on a commitment to cultivating deep roots that foster vibrant and inclusive experiences for diverse artists and audiences. In this spirit, we launch Envision, the Michigan Artists Initiative, a new awards program designed to support the development of contemporary artists living and working in Michigan. In its inaugural year, the program recognizes the creativity, rigor, and depth of innovation of Michigan-based artists and collaboratives and honors their role in inspiring the next generations of artists in our state. Our objective through this program is to launch careers of emerging and mid-career artists and support them through an exhibition, providing curatorial and logistical support, and a financial award. Who can apply? Envision is open to all emerging and mid-career artists, contemporary artists from Michigan working in all types of media. How does it work? Michigan-based emerging and mid-career artists are invited to apply through an online application available from March 16th to April 30th, 2020. 3 to 5 artists will be selected by a panel of prominent national jurors for a group exhibition that will take place at Stamps Gallery from January 15th to February 28th, 2021. At the exhibition opening and awards ceremony on January 15th, 2015, one winning artist will be selected and announced who will be awarded a prize of $5,000. The exhibition will tour to different venues in Michigan, including the Crooked Tree Arts Center in Traverse City. Submission to the call for work is free. Our jurors. In its inaugural year, we have put together a wonderful panel of nationally acclaimed jurors, and this consists of Carla Acevedo Yates, a rising curator. She is the Marilyn and Larry Fields Curator at the Museum of Contemporary Art, Chicago. Ken Aptekar, a renowned and established artist who is also an alumni of the Stamp School from 1973. And Loring Randolph, who is the director of Frieze New York, as well as an alumni who finished her BFA at Stamps in 2004. Timeline. So the call for work is live now and will be available online until April 30th, 2020. We're inviting all emerging and mid-career artists to submit from Michigan to submit their applications through this online portal. On July 1st, the jurors, we will announce the finalists, 3 to 5 finalists selected by the jurors. January 15, 2021 is when the exhibition will open to the public, and the opening will also be the award ceremony event where the winning artist will be announced. And the exhibition will remain open to the public for 6 weeks from January 15 to February 28th, 2021. So who is eligible? The initiative is free and open to all emerging and mid-career artists and collaboratives or collective teams who are living and working in Michigan and are legal residents or citizens, U.S. citizens. They must be at least 20 years and older or older and not enrolled in school. An applicant cannot submit student work even though they may be a recent graduate. The initiative seeks to support artists who are gaining momentum and are committed to pushing the boundaries of their chosen mediums. These artists are at a critical stage in their careers and on the threshold of taking their work to the next level. We are looking for recent work to ensure that artists have an ongoing practice and are still building and working on their careers. So all work submitted must be made within the last 4 years, so since January 2016. So how do we define an emerging and mid-career artist? So emerging artists are artists who are early in their artistic careers, regardless of age. They have a small exhibition record and their practices are not yet considered well established professionally by indicators of museum and gallery exhibitions, gallery representation, publications, media coverage. And yet, even though they have a small record, they are active and engaged within the artist community as they have been practicing professionally for at least 3 years. A mid-career artist is one who has passed these early stages of their career. They have perhaps been in the field for 7 to 10 years. They have a growing body of work. Their work may have attained a fair degree of public exposure through a variety of exhibitions in various different types of spaces. They may have some essays or publications, media coverage, and a website. How is my work evaluated? So there are 3 main tenets that the jurors will consider. 1, artistic excellence. So those who are building a rigorous body of work and demonstrate a commitment to experimenting with new methods and techniques to expand the repertoire of their medium. Viability, these applicants will also meet all the eligibility criteria that we just discussed. And impact, those who are at a critical juncture in their artistic careers for whom the award will make a significant impact, allowing them and empowering them to take their work to the next level. Let's break this down. All applications must be submitted online between March 16th and April 20th, 2020. You can access the application on the link posted below. And you will need to submit the following when you go online: an artist statement, a CV, support materials, which includes images and videos. Please be sure to check the guidelines for these support materials. So here is a screenshot of the website cafe that is hosting our call for submissions. Please be sure to scroll down to read the entire call for work before you click on the green button to apply. Artist statement. What makes a good artist statement? So the artist statement is really your opportunity to introduce the jurors to yourself and your work, what drives you as an artist, Why is your work important to you? What kinds of stories are you exploring through your work? Why is it important and relevant in this present moment? What makes you an emerging and mid-career artist of note? Why? Tell us why you create your art and what inspires you, what informs your work, why is it relevant, and what sets you apart. Some tips. So keep your artist statement short. We are looking for no more than 250 words. Grab the reader's interest with your first couple of sentences. Introduce your personality and enthusiasm. Use the artist statement to do that. Be clear and concise. So building on the artist statement, which really is a primer to get the jurors excited about your work. The CV is your opportunity to highlight your range of experience of achievements through a more detailed listing of your education, awards, and grants, exhibition histories, work or teaching, any related experiences, residencies, lectures, and presentations. Once again, here are some tips. Be clear and structured. Make sure that your CV is very legible and your contact details are easy to find. Remove unnecessary information. So make sure that it isn't too long, so much so that it'll overwhelm the jurors. Work in a chronological order that'll help the jurors understand the logic and progression of your artistic careers, and try as much as possible to mention relevant training. Here is a sample CV, just in terms of formats. File specification. So what do we mean by support material? So we are accepting 3 types of support materials: images, which are still images, photographs of artworks. Second is videos. Those who are working in new media installations, or if you have a video about your work that you think will be really helpful, you may include that. And audio files. So for those who are working with sound, or if you have a soundtrack to a video or a work that you feel is very important and will benefit, and the jurors will benefit from hearing it, please feel free to upload them. Images. So the one on the left is a good image. It's a good, clean representation of your work. It's a scanned or photographed image, and there is no unnecessary information. This is an image of the artwork itself. Once the jurors receive these images, they have the capacity to zoom in, to look at it closely, to understand the nuances and what you were trying to convey and achieve through the work. The image on the right has a poor resolution, poor lighting. It's an uncropped format. As a result, there's a lot of unnecessary information in the image. And what do I mean about that? By that, I mean that we see the image of the artwork at a distance. What we see in the foreground is the floor, followed by the lighting, as well as the wall. This does not allow the jurors to really be able to delve deeply into the work. They just give us a sense. All we glean from this photograph is that it's from this image is that it's a photograph, likely, and the potential possible scale of it. So once again, I encourage you to really spend some time with your photographs. Make sure that you're only providing the right information and that the necessary information with the artwork, the image of the artwork, and not everything around the artwork. Videos. So make sure again that the video is a good, clean representation of your work. It has smooth transitions and visual context. It isn't a poor resolution. It shouldn't be glitchy or have a shaky camera, unless that
unless the video is is doing that deliberately. We also understand that your videos may be long, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So we encourage you to put up an excerpt of the video that gives the jurors an idea of the work. And think about it as a teaser that gives them a deeper understanding of the work.
Please find the video in your event chat, the link to the video.
Frequently asked questions. So these are all available on our website. I thought it might be productive to run through them quickly with you. So a common question we have been receiving is, does one need to be affiliated with the University of Michigan to apply and participate? So no, the artists applying for this program need not be affiliated with the University of Michigan at all. As long as they meet the eligibility criteria, they may apply. Do you have to be a Michigan resident to apply? So yes, to receive the award, artists must live and work in Michigan and be a legal resident or U.S. citizen. I'm interested in applying, but I can't find the application form. The application form is available on the Stamps Gallery website, as well as Cafe, which is the online portal that is hosting our call. The call is now live. We did show you the screenshot. It is going to be available online until March 30th, 2020. Are there tax implications for the award? So yes, at the end of the calendar year, you will receive a 1099 MISC form from the University of Michigan, and as the prize will be considered as income. How does Stamps Gallery define emerging and mid-career artists? We went through this in some detail. Here are our definitions again. So please take some time to look at these and glean sort of where you stand in your professional artistic careers. Where is the exhibition where the finalists going to take place? The exhibition will take place at Stamps Gallery, which is located in downtown Ann Arbor, 201 South Division Street, Ann Arbor, Michigan, 48104. I'm not sure any longer. I'm not a student any longer. Can I apply for Envision with my thesis project? So work that has been completed for a class or assignment while you were a student cannot be submitted. So while you may not be a student, you cannot submit student work. However, we understand that you may be continuing a series or a line of work that you started developing when you were a student. And so you may submit the newer work that you have developed since you graduated. Are there any age restrictions for emerging and mid-career artists? So Envision, the Michigan Artist Initiative, is open to applicants 20 years of age and over. There is no application fee. Can I bring my artwork to Stamps Gallery for the jury to evaluate? All applications must be submitted online. The jurors will only accept applications that are submitted through the online portal and meet all the eligibility criteria. Once again, you can access the calls for submission on that link there. So thank you very much for your time and good luck. We are very excited that the call for submissions is live, and we encourage you to share this program, the call for work, with your friends, your colleagues who may be emerging and mid-career artists in Michigan. And should you have any more questions, please feel free to email us at envisionartist@umich.edu. Please remember too that this application will be available. This presentation will be available online. So if you feel like you missed anything, don't worry. It will be posted next week. And now let's move on to our live chat to answer some of your questions. Thanks again.
All right, so I am looking at some of your questions that are coming in, and one of the sort of big questions is about the discrepancy in my presentation about the number of accepted images and the cafe submission. So yes, thank you for catching the typo. It should be 7 to 12 images. So we will accept up to 12 images. So I also answered that on the chat, on the Q&A. Another question was, are design industries eligible as product design or surface pattern design? I think what I would say is that if you are a designer and your training has been a designer and you are working within broadly and your work can be considered to be part of a contemporary art aesthetic or a work. I would think that yes, you're welcome to submit your work. We are, of course, looking for more sort of artworks rather than a specific product. But then, contemporary art is a very broad field, and the way in which you contextualize the work can be very, differs. So yes, it could work, but it really depends on the type of work. Another question was, can you include a video intro to a still image work? Yes, you may do so. Of course, be sure to, if it's a still image or a still work, like, a two-dimensional work rather, I do encourage you to also submit a high-res image of the work because jurors might want to look at the work for, themselves apart from, and if you feel the video intro will be helpful to give them a better understanding of the work, then sure, you could include that, but also be sure to include a JPEG or a TIFF or, a still image of the work. Any more? Okay, sorry, I'm not seeing that. Yes, employees are eligible to apply. Oh, I see. Can more than one series of work be submitted by one artist? Yes, you can submit more than one series of work as long as they fit, the sort of the number of works that we will accept. So, for example, it's a good idea to submit works from more than one series because it'll help the jurors get a better understanding of your practice as a whole. So yes, you can absolutely submit more than one series. So that might mean that so say for example, one series has 25 works, but we're only accepting 12 images. So you will have to make decisions on which works, to select sort of which works would be the most representative from that series. And if you also want to sort of include materials from other series, then perhaps you'll have to be even more selective. So, in the cafe submissions form, it sort of outlines the exact number of video files, audio files, as well as image files. So I wanted to direct you to that. To the application form, which will clearly state how many of each works will be accepted. So yes, employees are eligible. No, there are no restrictions to the subject matter. Are we submitting finished works, not just past work samples, or is the award to create new work? Okay, that's a really good question. All these, you may, the idea is that you are submitting finished works or works that are not, are we submitting finished works, not just as past work samples? So in your application, you must submit examples of finished work. Yeah, that's, I'm not quite sure I understand what not work samples mean. You may, if your work is selected by the jurors, there may be an opportunity for you to expand on an idea or to create a new component of the work in the exhibition component. But for the submission process, it's important for the jurors to really understand your work and definitely examples of previous work will be important. So with the images, is there a chance to describe each piece, size, medium? Yes, so please include captions for each piece. You can include a list of work. The captions will be very important for us to understand. It's sort of the key question, key information for the jurors to understand the scope of the work, the scale, the medium, yes, so these details will be important. Inspiration likely will be difficult, because to be able to annotate each work with an artist statement. Rather, we encourage you to really use that sort of artist statement as kind of a summary of your practice and your work as a whole. Do remember that there is also a space for you to include your website if you have one, or any other link if you like, and the jury will then take their time to look at the website where if you have more information, or it could be even if you have a link to a Flickr page or something, that the jury might be able to look at that as well. Does a writing document count as an image? In terms of support material, I guess it depends on the artwork. If the artwork is a text piece, then yes, you may include it. In that case, you would need to really, the caption will be important. If you have an image of the work installed, that will be helpful as well. But if the actual text is what you would like the jurors to understand, to look at, then yes, you may include the text as well. Any more? There are more? Don't seem to. Mm-hmm. Create a new work. So no, the award is not to specifically create new work. We kind of have to take that on. So because we're not asking you to send us to provide us with a proposal for new work. This is an award that really recognizes your work in your career so far as an emerging and mid-career artist, and hopes to, and our objective and what we're trying to do is sort of provide an opportunity for an artist um, um, to sort of take their work to the next level. So what you do with the award. So sorry, I want to take that back. I want to take a few steps back. The award, the cash award of $5,000, it's really up to the winning artist. What they choose to do with the award. We have no specifications for that. So if you would like to use the monies to make new work, you can absolutely do that. If you would like to take the money to frame existing work, you can absolutely do that. It's completely up to the artist as to how they want to use the money from the award. Now, the 3 to 5 finalists who will be selected, the work that they will be, who will be selected to present work in the finalists exhibition, the work in that show will not be, will be some combination of existing work, and if the artist would like to use that opportunity to expand on a work or to sort of contextualize the work better within the gallery, within the Stamps Gallery space, then there is an opportunity to do that. So therefore, please do submit examples of finished work, and so the exhibition, the finalist exhibition, and the award are sort of two separate things. I hope that helps. How many pieces will be exhibited? Well, it really depends on the work, the artists and their work that are selected, who are on the finalists. At this stage, it's really hard to say how many works will be submitted. Are we seeing any more? Other No, I mean, we do not, as we mentioned, we're inviting artists working in all different mediums to apply. So no, there are no restrictions to installation work. That being said, the restrictions really are about, the space that we're in, which has 10-foot, the walls are 10-foot high, the specification, the restrictions of the space itself. So of course we don't want to necessarily break down walls and, open up, do things that will, create major changes to the space. But that being said, with every exhibition at Stamps Gallery, and I encourage you to visit our website and our past exhibitions, where through every exhibition, the space looks very different because we develop a layout of the show based on the works and their needs. We regularly exhibit a variety of installations, whether it's video, whether film and video, or something that's more material based, or a combination. Installation, immersive works, participatory works is very much within our artistic vocabulary as well. Thank you. See one more. So are you saying that what images that we send you may not necessarily be the ones that we bring to the gallery if selected, of course? That's correct. So once the artists, once the finalists are selected, the Stamps Gallery staff will reach out to you, of course, as we start planning the details of the exhibition. And so again, based on space, based on what the needs are of the works, we might need to tweak which works get included in the show, the final show. Any more? Yeah. Why this year? Um, well, the gallery has been be open to the public in 2017, and we are in our third year this year, and now as we're starting to sort of plan ahead in develop our programs 12 to 18 months out. And what we like to do, as we spoke about this, spoke a little bit about this, that our commitment to social justice, exhibitions that are responsive and um, uh, uh, we are trying to be anyway responsive and in conversation with the context in which we're living. And one of the sort of needs and concerns, and one of the sort of things that occurred to me, and what we talk a lot about here, is sort of the number of incredible artists there are in Michigan and Southeast Michigan, and how can we provide more opportunities or sort of create a platform for artists who have been practicing in the region, and also a platform for emerging artists, to be able to launch their career. So it is really through that conversation with us as a staff at the Stamps School of Art and Design. With alumni, with faculty, the dean, and so through that we decided to develop this program called Envision. That is now called Envision, the Michigan Artist Initiative, recognizing that there actually isn't an initiative like this that is for emerging and mid-career artists across the state of Michigan, and so we thought that. We would try it out, and it so happened. It has been in the works, I would say, for the last year. It's taken about a year to sort of develop it, bring the resources together for it to be able to launch the application this year. And assemble the jury to be able so that the award ceremony and the exhibition can take place next year in 2020. Any plan B if COVID-19 is still an issue? I guess we are working on it, I think all of us are, right? In terms of COVID-19 and getting used to the new norms and ways of living. I hope that, by the end of the summer, we'll have more clarity on, which direction and that the disease itself would have alleviated a little bit. But, some things that come to mind from the top of our heads, something that we've talked about here as well, is having more of an online presence of the work, the finalists' work, so that those who cannot make it to the opening or to the exhibition have an opportunity to look, to be able to, first of all, understand the program and also get a sense of their work, of the artists' work, who have been, who were the finalists. And also doing things like videos, perhaps virtual tours of the exhibition, interviews with the finalists, as well as, of course, the winning artists. Those are all strategies that can be, put into place. That we're actually, I will say that those are things that we think about and are talking about anyway. And I think with COVID-19, it's sort of amplified perhaps the need for that. That being said, of course, we're always thinking about access and who has access to the online portals and how do we make it more accessible. These are questions that we're still grappling with. I don't think we have an answer. But just to say that we're always open to ideas and so with the Envision artist at umich.edu, it's always a forum for questions and your thoughts. There are 4 more questions? How is it? The writing documents? Yeah. I think I did answer that. Does writing a document count as an image? Any more questions? I'd just like to go back to this one question about whether a written document can count as an image. And I know I said that if it is a text-based work, then yes, but I realize that it could also be perhaps a performance or a performance-based work. So yes, you can include the written documents if it is an important component of the work, of course, but the installation image there will be very important if it's a 2-dimensional text-based work or if it's a video or a performative work, then a video or something that does justice, where the jurors can really understand the work better, will be important to include along with the text. If you think that the text will be an important component for jurors to understand the depth of the work. All right. I'm excited to hear about this and for your commitment to support Michigan artists. As I type this, you are speaking to the issues of getting the work gallery offerings out. Is there any way Stanks Gallery can up its general marketing game? Living in Southeast Michigan, I hardly know you exist. So thank you for that question. This is another sort of ongoing issue that we're talking and debating about here. So our goal is, yes, to amp it up and to so that our marketing, there are sort of challenges of resources in terms of marketing dollars that get spent, the dollars to buy, do we spend it on buying ads, or do we put it towards programs? This is sort of always an ongoing back and forth. We obviously do understand that if we cannot publicize an important event, then there's no point because people don't know about it, right? So yes. We are hoping, and this is partly why, we've been working on this, over the last years, really to think about how we can amp up how we can increase the marketing around around this program and Stamps Gallery as a whole. In particular, I just want to take a moment to invite you all to really share the Envision Michigan Artists Initiative call. It is free. It is open to all emerging mid-career artists from Michigan. So if you have, if you know people, you have friends, colleagues, networks, please, please, please do share the call with them. I think that word of mouth is actually very, very powerful as well. And if there are a few folks out there, sharing information about this program, about what we do at Stamps, we will, we're always very, very grateful. And I think that it actually has a deeper impact as well. So thank you for that question. Can a group apply? Yes, if you are a collaborative team of artists or a collective, or you want to come together as a collaborative or team, that's fine. Yes, you may apply. Mm-hmm. But in that case, if you're coming together specifically for this program, you'll just have to think about how to talk about your sort of artistic careers. Each of you can submit your own separate CVs, or whether if you're already a collaborative team, you probably have a CV for the collaborative itself. So I would encourage you to really think that through carefully. All right. Any more questions? All right. Doesn't seem like there are any new questions. Oh, well, thank you for tuning in. And we are, yeah, we're deeply pleased and very excited to be able to develop this program, and we're really, interested in building this out with you, being its inaugural year. We are also learning about its scope and its capacity to really grow and support the sort of cultural ecology of artists and mid-career emerging artists in the state, but also, our contemporary culture as a whole. So I really want to thank you for tuning in. Yeah. All right. So if there are any more questions, please do email us at Envision artist at umich.edu. This webinar and info session the recording for this will be up on our website and accessible to all. So please do feel free to share that as well, or to revisit it if you have more questions or you'd like to go back to something. So again, a deep thanks, and we are really excited to build on this inaugural program with you to realize dream projects and produce real change with impact and traces that are deep and meaningful, building solidarity on personal and human levels. So thank you very much.